Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Force Awakens Air Hogs Remote Control Millennium Falcon Quad. And this is a quadcopter of the Millennium Falcon. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the packaging. Alright, so taking a look at the packaging. So this is pretty much the standard color scheme for the Star Wars The Force Awakens toy line. Basically any manufacturer for any different type of toy, they always got this nice red-black theme. Really nice picture of Kylo Ren in the upper right hand corner. Nice Star Wars logo. We got the Millennium Falcon picture as well as the nice open window that shows the quadcopter when it's with its 4 propellers. And it shows the remote control you get with the hyperspace mode. Really great packaging. And as we go onto the back, kind of just shows the quadcopter again, gives a little synopsis of Millennium Falcon, and it says, a legendary starship, despite its humble origins, the Millennium Falcon has played a role in some of the Rebels Alliance's greatest victories over the Empire. On the surface, the Millennium Falcon looks like a worn-down junker. Beneath its hull, however, she packs many powerful secrets. Its owners have made special modifications on the freighter throughout the years, boosting its speed, shielding, and performance to impressive and downright illegal levels. And then it says that in a couple different languages, but you know, it kind of shows the different things. It says LED subspace hyperdrive, ducted propellers, and dual LED C-beam lamps. So it's got like the little headlights. But I mean, this packaging looks fantastic. Shows the remote control, and it does need 6 AA batteries, which are not included. But let's get this guy opened up. Alright, so taking a look at the quadcopter, this thing is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite toys I can, remember in a long time. I mean, it's one of those things where if you said as a kid that, 10 years, 15 years ago, you'd be able to fly around the Millennium Falcon in like a remote control, I wouldn't believe you. But this thing definitely, brings that to life, and it's just so neat. So you get the remote, which is right here, and it's pretty straightforward. So it's got a little charging light right here. It's got basically a mute button where you can turn the volume on and off. It's got the power button. This is the throttle, and this will turn you if you go left and right. It'll actually rotate the ship left and right. This one right here will go forward and back, and this will strafe left and strafe right. So pretty straightforward. Then it's got buttons on the top. So this one right here, the one with the Millennium Falcon on it, basically is like a hyperdrive button. What it does, if you push it, and you have to push really hard, it'll push down, and the black LED blue lights on the Millennium Falcon will flash and then make like a hyperdrive like sound, like it's going really fast. And then this play button right here, which is the left trigger, is basically sound effects, where it does like 4 or 5 sound effects. It does like R2-D2 and Chewbacca and a couple Millennium Falcon and like gun sounds. But you have to push really hard, and it's just something, I actually don't like the sound on this at all, and it really, something you really can't hear. It's actually, the sound comes from this speaker right here. That's where all the sound comes from. It comes from the controller, not the ship. And the ship is so loud when it's on, you really can't hear it. So most of the time I have this on mute anyways. Getting to the quadcopter, it's really cool. It's got its 4 propellers, which are really neat. And this thing is made out of a foam. It's very little plastic you can actually access. The only thing that's really plastic you can touch are these guys right here, are actually the propellers. But I mean, it's really, really nice likeness to the Millennium Falcon. It's got lights right here that light up, so it's got like the high beams in the front, which is really cool. And it's also got like the LED blue lights, so it looks like it's got the hyperdrive and the engines in the back, which is just awesome. And like I said, it's foam, so I mean, it's squishy and it's really durable. So you can really just destroy this thing. If you don't know how to fly it, you first-time flyers, you're not going to damage the ship, which I really like. The only thing with that is it's very light. Going outside, you have to really make sure that it's going to be on a day where there's not a lot of wind, because this guy will definitely take off with the wind, because it does not weigh that much at all. But I mean, it's just like a really soft foam, so don't be afraid that you're going to damage this, because you're going to crash it a lot, because there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve on how to fly it, but once you get it down, it's really, really easy to control. So as far as battery, there's this guy takes 6 AA batteries in the remote control. You can charge it from the remote control to the ship, so you don't have to have a power supply. So if you're out at the park, you can charge, as well as you can charge from the computer. So there's actually a USB port right here, and there's a USB cable that's actually comes with the it that you get. You can plug it in your computer, or if you have like a Samsung converter that plugs right in the wall, you plug that into this guy, and then there is a little junction right here that pulls out, and it plugs into this section right here. That's actually where you plug in, and this is the on and off switch for the ship. The biggest downfall with this ship is the charging time. It feels like it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to give it a full charge, and battery life on this guy is not very long. You're probably looking about 5 to 8 minutes of fly time, and definitely toward the end of that time, the ship is not as responsive, and you won't be able to fly it as far away from your controller as you would with a freshly charged ship. What this does is the lights will actually flash on the front and back of the ship, letting you know, hey, your battery's starting to die, which is really cool. And then at that point, the ship will crash. It won't go anymore. The lights will still light up on the remote, because that remote is battery powered, but the ship is basically just done for. So you can charge it from here to here without any kind of other power source, and just charge from the controller. I have not done that, so I can't attest to what battery life that has and what it does to the controller battery life. I typically just plug the USB into here, and then once that's done, I plug this into there, and it charges the guy. And like I said, it's about 45 minutes, so it's probably the biggest downfall of this ship. Kind of a ridiculous amount of time to charge it. I mean, 45 minutes, for about 5 to 8 minutes of flight time is kind of crappy. All right, to get this guy fired up, you're going to push the power button, and the power button will blink a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, but you can just barely see it. And then you flip the switch on Millennium Falcon. The lights will blink, and once they go solid fully, that way you know you're compared to the remote control. And you can actually hear the sound on, so you can actually hear like an ignition sound. So pushing the right trigger, that is the hyperdrive noise, and then pushing the left trigger, we have some gun sounds, Chewbacca noise, some turret sounds, and some R2-D2 sounds. And that's all the sounds the remote makes. Now the one thing is, when you push the hyperdrive button when you're flying, the actual backlights will flash, and then it will make that noise. I'll show that in the video when I show some of the flying and stuff. But essentially at this point you're able to fly. Alright, so to take this guy off, you basically just push up on the throttle, it'll start the fans. Now obviously that's on low, so it's not going to take off from table, but you can see just from here how loud the engine is. And it's got its own basically like gyroscope in it, so it actually will stabilize the plane. So it can do a lot of flying, it can go forward, back, strafe left, strafe right, but you can't do a lot of swoops. If you kind of get the plane and the Millennium Falcon off balance by any stretch of the means, it'll basically lose it. So if you basically get the Millennium Falcon to tilt at this angle, you basically are going to get it to crash. It'll just fall down to the ground. So it's definitely good for hovering and stuff, and I'll show that in a little bit. But you basically would just throttle up and take this guy right off. Now it does have a noise on the controller that if you were to kind of get it off balance, it starts to make one of those siren noises, and then if it crashes and actually hits the ground and you have the volume on, it'll make an explosion sound, which is kind of cool, but like I said, I don't like the sound on the remote at all. Next up, I'll show a little bit of indoor and outdoor flying. You can kind of see what it sounds like. I have the controller volume off for the most part, so it's just going to be, you'll hear the Millennium Falcon fan noise, and that's it. There'll be no sound. Like I said, I don't like the remote control sounds. I think it's kind of stupid, and I'm sure it helps eat the battery life. So let's take a look. features with this, if you crash, the remote will make a little noise like it actually crashed. If I actually just crash it, when you're flying it and you push the hyperdrive button, the back lights will blink and make a noise. But it's very hard to hear with the sound of the plane. And while it's going, and I'm just going to hold it to simulate that, if you push a button on the left trigger button, the remote will make different noises. As well as the right trigger button will actually make it a hyperdrive noise, which it'll flash the lights in the back and it'll make it sound like it's going into hyperdrive. See if we can get it to do that. Really easy control. You can see the lights in the front. It just looks fantastic on this guy. Alright, so final impressions, I think this thing is unbelievably cool. This is what, like I said, one of my favorite toys I probably ever had ever. I mean, it's just, I love the Millennium Falcon, and having this thing and just seeing how cool the lights are and the lights in the front and how it flies, it's just so neat. It's one of the coolest remote control things I've ever had ever. Charging, definitely a downfall. I like that you can charge for the computer, but it takes 45 minutes for about a 5 to 8 minute flight time, and that is kind of garbage. You know, with the technology they have with the batteries, I don't know why they did that. I'm sure it has something to do with, weight and stuff. I like that it's foam. It's definitely more of an indoor toy. Outdoors, you got to really watch out for the wind. This will definitely just get lost in the wind if it's, blowing faster than probably 5 miles an hour. But it's really easy to pick up. It's definitely got the first few times you fly it, you're going to have trouble, and then after that it's really, really fun and it's really easy. I just think for little kids, you got to worry about, you could definitely get their fingers stuck in the rotary blade. My little one's always chasing after this and trying to grab the Falcon, and you always got to worry, is she going to get her finger caught in the fan blade. But I mean, unbelievably cool. I mean, just the aesthetics alone, one of the coolest toys I've ever seen. It's extremely durable. If you're worried about breaking this and stuff, I mean, it's not going to break. I mean, unless a dog's going to chew it or you leave it out in the sun and maybe the foam will crack, that's probably the only way it's going to die. So final impressions of the Hogs Millennium Falcon Quadcopter is really high. This is one of the coolest toys I've played with in years. I mean, it's so much fun. There's a lot of nostalgia flying the Millennium Falcon. I mean, and how fun and easy it is to fly. I can definitely overlook the fact that the charging kind of sucks, and it takes 45 minutes to charge it, and you get about 5 to 8 minutes of flight time. But I mean, absolutely fantastic. Price point is about $109 MSRP. You can find it on sale sometimes as low as $70, or Walmart typically has these for $88.88. I think is what they have the sale price for. But I mean, you can't miss this. This is absolutely incredibly fun, and I enjoy it a lot. And once again, this has been Jason with 5 Letter Comments Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.